Absolutely, absolutely, man. You gotta love the holiday season for sure, for sure. But we do want to go ahead and kind of like get the show kind of started. We are we're running up the time here, so I just want to stick with the regular scheduled program. I am going to pin Mixie on vacation real quick to the top, just so y'all can see how Mix is living. But yeah, man, breaking news. Of course, the queen has passed away. Our beloved Elizabeth is, I don't know, there's a lot of controversy behind like this. I don't know. To me, it's so freaking weird, dude. Like, I'm like, dude, she was a person. She died. Like, we're not all perfect, man. You know what I'm saying? So, like, just let's, it's like, are we dissing the dead?
We not dissing the dead, but someone put a trump card on Twitter. He was like, "Oh, don't disrespect the dead," and someone was like, "Don't be an asshole while you're alive." And it's just like, yeah, we can talk about one death, but does that account for multiple deaths that died under like slavery, basically under someone else's rule, put in situations to where they didn't have to be according to this one person? It's like fucking being like, "Ah, Hitler died." I'm not saying she's Hitler, but it's just like, "Ah, Hitler died. Let's show him some respect." It's like, no, you might have you it's a tricky line.
I say, like, if you were to just think about how much colonization has fucked up a lot of like places in the world, and that comes from specifically her and also her family line. It's like they've been in charge of the United Kingdom for hundreds of years. A lot of fucked up shit has happened under them, under her. So it's very understandable that like a lot of people are dissing the dead in this situation.
That's
Then
not even
another,
it.
and I was about to say another thing too. What we also got to realize is that we live in a whole new age, right? We're living in a digital era. We also living in an age of information, right? So the way I see it is in this new era, um, people, it's a new level of freedom of speech. Like when it comes to people speaking their minds out on public platforms. So you got to think about it. Like if during this time when just using Michael Jackson for instance, right? When Michael Jackson passed, I'm pretty sure people would have been saying some of the same similar stuff. You know what I mean? So you just got to look at it like we're in a new age. So now you're going to see all types of information fly, and you're not going to be able to hide nothing either. So for instance, what Seven was saying, what Miss Green saying, like, hey, all of the colonization and all the things that were happening under her rule, right? Um, you can't run from that stuff, right? Now everybody has access to the information. Everybody can go to the internet. They can see what was actually done under her rule, and then they could come back to social media and be like, "Oh yeah, you know what I mean? This, and that," and add their 2 cents. So now we in the age of information. So now, like, you can't really hide from what you did or what you done or what you were actually associated with. So in this new age and new era, that's what comes with it.
There have literally been wars fought over the fact that people like her have just went into like areas that never saw like country lines, and then they put country lines on this shit and just told them, hey, y'all gotta govern yourselves, and they started going to war for that type shit. So it's like it's that shit runs very deep.
Can I ask, am I the only person, like, this is the only person that was old that passed away that I was surprised that passed away? Like, we should have definitely been expecting this, but like, I don't know. I felt like she was going to outlive me forever. Like, she's just always been that age in my eyes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that picture that I just saw up the top, I've never seen that before. She's just always been exactly how we've seen her. So when I saw she died, I was like, oh, wow, there's a lot of conspiracy theories that just died with her as well.
Bro, like her, have y'all seen? Well, first of all, there's a meme that I keep seeing. It's showing like Betty White died at 99, and and what's the name? Queen Elizabeth died at 96, and it said U.S. 1, England 0. But
What? Where do you be finding
oh,
these posts from?
I have a meme page on Instagram. I find all of them. But did y'all know that it's like the largest diamond found in Africa? Like the Queen of England like stole it and it was in her crown like to this entire time.
You
Are you
said
serious?
Yeah,
there's a stolen. What diamond are we talking about? Though? Not the Hope diamond. Are you talking
I'm,
about that diamond?
I'm
Yo, I'm gonna let y'all know straight up. Mixie was on my show yesterday. Mixie will find this information. Mixie is not lying. Like when he say something, yo, you better just listen to what he's saying, cause he will get that information right to you. Yesterday,
I,
yesterday, let me tell you what he proved yesterday. Yesterday, he said, "Oh, the Cardano blockchain went down before." While people saying Solana's the only one that went down, this dude looked up the exact epoch in the exact epoch and told me exactly how long it was down. He pulled it up, and because I didn't believe him, I was like, "I don't know, bro. Maybe you talking about Sunday swap." He pulled it up. It was exactly what he said. I was like, "Okay, Mix, you got it, bro. You got it." So just listen to what he said.
our hood investigative journalists. I think that's most people, right? Like we stumble across bits of information and we read an article and we may not be able to cite it like a college essay. But most definitely, it definitely is in a database. So all it takes is a few clicks, and that's the age of information that we were talking about there. As far as like the look as far as the Queen's passing and how people really feel about that and in regards to that. And rightfully so. I mean, it's just a saying in HM that we say a lot. It's like what's done in the dark will come to the light. And I just believe that at the current stage that we're at as a civilization, the majority of us that are fortunate enough to have these sorts of technologies and access to electricity and et cetera, we have an opportunity now to do more investigative research into formulating our own opinions and ideas. So, for sure, for sure.
yeah, that diamond is also called the Star of Africa. It's like 500 something carats.
You know what? So let's get into a conversation of what you think about karmic, like principles and things like that. Like we talk about the seven principles of law. You know, where you attract and et cetera, balance. Do you think that this is something that we'll be seeing in the future, and do you think it's productive? Honestly, like, do you think it's a productive thing that's taking place? Like educating people, let's say. So the fact that she passed away and we can easily just forget everything that ever happened, but the fact that people are bringing this up just so we can acknowledge the truth, is that good or bad in your opinion?
That's good. That's good because the reason why I see it as good from my perspective is because that's the accountability. That's the accountability part because it's like that's what's going on now is that and that's why what I mean by the information age, right? Well, you could do something, right? But that doesn't mean that it won't catch up to you, right? And so what we're seeing happen is it literally catch up to this person, their karma catch up with them in real time. So when you see that karma match up with real time, that's why you get the result that you get. And it's really just the fact that they've been getting away with it for so long, you know what I mean? But they didn't really anticipate people having that information at their fingertips to actually hold you accountable, right? So what's happening now is after she passed, she's being held accountable. That's all that's happening now. So that's what you see now.
That's what I love. It's just funny that we're even having a conversation of people being like, "Oh man, are we disrespecting?" Like, no, it's not disrespect. If anything, you disrespect yourself, maybe. But yeah, it is what it is at this point. Yeah, I agree, brother.
I want to get Ian's perspective on this because he literally lives in the UK, but he's also African.
Well, I passed Brother Eden the mic, the invite, so hopefully he'll be up to getting on stage and chopping it up with us here shortly. But yeah, just welcome to everyone who's come. Just give y'all a quick reset on what we got going on here. So this is the Space Cadets. This is officially, I think we can coin this episode 3. I'm not wanting to do much for counting. It wasn't my strong suit in school, but our goal and objective is to just touch on everyday topics to start off the conversation as a form of onboarding to members maybe outside of the Web3 space to allow for ease or bridge into our ecosystems and our technologies and what we're doing and what we treasure and value over here in crypto. So I feel like this is just a easy way and a easy way to break down those barriers and get more people involved. So yeah, the subject that we're talking about right now, of course, breaking news: the queen has passed, the queen is dead, and we just want to know, is it God rest the queen? Because there are things that are tied to people's past. And yes, at one form in time we didn't have these technologies, these research tools at our disposal to really gain access to the truth. It had a lot to do with your connection and being inside of the loop, but through the power of what we have here today, and all this innovation, man, we're able to process information into our own reckoning. So we just want to get some feedback. So if Eden, I see you down there, Crypto Kid, thanks for joining the party here. If y'all want to come up and say your piece on the matter, it'd be good. Great for the space, and give an introduction of who you guys are and what you got going on Cardano and across other crypto platforms.
Word. I hope Crypto Kev and Eden come up. Those are some solid dudes on the Cardano blockchain, man. Crypto Kev showing love, even though he's out there saving lives on his day job, and so much love to both of y'all. Thank you for stopping by. But I think we got a census on that. Yeah, what you thinking?
Oh yeah, no man, shoot. We're gonna go ahead and jump into the next subject here. Give me 1 second. I was just scrambling through my notes. So yeah, man, we just want to do a quick market breakdown on the current numbers in the CNFT space and crypto in general. I know that's a tradition that Awesome and myself have both chariot for. So just great way to go. But I see Eaton making his way to the stage. What's going on, Eaton? How are you feeling, my beloved UK brother? Are you down in the dumps because our queen has been laid to rest, or I mean, what's your take on it?
I think a lot of like Black Twitter and Black Instagram, we're just falling into the trap of letting someone else that might have a kind of checkered past now affect our character. And I think if someone being dirty makes you dirty and affects you, then what are we even doing here? I think how do I put it? There's so many different facets to this. So, for example, what would you do if you were king or your queen? Really, like a lot of this is down to reality. If the roles were reversed and black people were in power, I think a lot of just the standard part of being a human is just that power corrupts and power leads you to do things. Power leads you to, it doesn't condone what was or wasn't done. But I just feel like ultimately, if you got nothing to say, nothing positive to say, then don't really bother on the topic. And we're only making ourselves look like fools, putting all the tweets of laughing and yada da and this, that, and the other. That's someone's grandma. That's
That's what
someone's
I'm saying.
mum, someone's family, and if it was you, you'd be crying, filming yourself on IG crying and doing all that stuff. So I just think it's a bit weird, and there's not much for really to say. Yeah, it's the people with power dominate the people without power. The people with bags dump on people without the bags. Like that's just how the world works.
Yeah, I was about to say, yeah, I wholeheartedly agree. But I will also say, of course, when we speak from our own perspective. But this is what I will say: the people is gonna people. The people are gonna people. So it's like the way I see it is everyone, and this is honestly truly how I feel, right? Just viewing from the world's perspective, everyone has the right to say what they want to say, right? And that doesn't necessarily mean that everyone's gonna say what you like them to say or anything that lines up with your morals, right? But everybody has their point of view, and to a certain extent, their point of view has to be respected, right? Because we all are a it's a universal consciousness, right? We all are a part of the same consciousness. So when somebody says something crazy or wild after somebody passed, to a certain extent, you gotta look at that and be like, "Oh wow, was that really warranted?" You know what I mean? But it doesn't necessarily mean it's right or wrong because I'm not really a particular. I'm not really too big on what's right and wrong, right? Because it's always from somebody's different view and perspective. But what I will say is people are gonna say what they want to say regardless. You know what I mean? And so I just look at it. I just look at it as data. Like it's just data to me. Like I don't take anything personal. I just look at it like, oh wow. So this is what people want to say. Oh, that's interesting. And then I keep it moving. You know what I mean? I don't really let it affect me. I just look at it for what it is.
Can I ask a question to make this maybe a bit more objective of a viewpoint? And hopefully, this is a good analogy. Let's take, for example, a project. Let's take it away from a person, even though there are people behind it. So let's not muddy it too much. But all right, let's say Riot House. They existed, they built a following, and they were cool. Their art was cool. What they were doing seemed all right. And then they fucking rugged. And then they passed away and they took a lot of people with them as well with bad influence. So, like, are we going to sit here and speak? Uh, I don't know. Like, are we going to give it as, oh, it was a part of us, unfortunately, or are we going to acknowledge what it is? Objectively, of course. Like, hey, I can't mourn this. I'm not saying like go, dance on the grave. Like, absolutely not. But at least acknowledging it is. I don't know if that was a good analogy to ask.
Well, the reason I can't mourn it is because I'm American. Like, I mean, I don't really have any ties to the Queen. So
What do
this,
you?
I'm just saying, like,
That's that's
hey, bro,
horrible.
like, this is not my problem. Like, I'm American. Like,
Say it's not your cup of tea. Hey, I mean, I agree. You know, it's news, it's history. Like I think that we're all evenly intertwined in this whole mesh, this whole fabric of reality, right? And like what Eden said to a certain degree is true. Like and this is something that we have to take into consideration, as we further advance our technologies, because they do have a lot of dual edge capabilities that they're if the people in power, are able to take advantage of the people without power, right, and the people with bags are able to dump on the people without bags. Like, are we going to continue that to tread that course? Because I mean, globally, what would you say is the consensus? Do you feel like most people are satisfied um, with this methodology of thinking, or do you think that people are looking for some sort of spurn of evolution? We have entered into a new age. Um, Throughout the solstice, right? So our celestial alignment. So we're into a new age, as the ancients had once said. And it's the age of Aquarius. And it's the free flow of information, right? Like no longer having these parameters of authoritarianship, because that's exactly what it is. Even though it's considered a monarch, it's authoritarianship, the people in power. So do you think that we're going to continue to persist down that path, or do you think that what we're entering is uh just the start of a new order of things.
Everything is about power. Everything is about power and value. And in every situation in your life, you're going to be faced with somebody that has either more or less value than you. It's just, obviously, if you focus on that and you look at it in that sense, it can seem like life is very transactional, but that's always going to be the case below the surface. We're mammals, at a certain point. This is just biology. It's about someone having more or being able to do more, and everyone else kind of following it. Like we see in every walk, and even in Web3, we see it here. People gather. Goose. I was speaking to Goose, and he said something really interesting because we were speaking about like in Cardano, we're saying, oh, cryptograms, Arctic, yada yada yada. And Goose, you know how he is, New York, Jersey guy. He was like, "Who's that? Who that? Who is that?" And I said, "You know them." He's like, "But who are they?" I'd walk past them on the street and not even say anything. And it made me think because I just realized that the only reason why in Web3, for example, people gather around these people is because why they have more perceived value or perceived power or bigger bags. So that's just a very relevant example of how this works. So no, there's no change. It's always going to be the same. It's just there's going to be a different person on top of the totem pole, whether you know it or not.
So you don't think that there's any breaking the wheel at all?
No, because the fundamentals can't be broken, and the fundamentals are just it's down to how we are made up as life forms. Like we are meant to kind of gather around power and form some kind of hierarchical structure. That's how we've evolved.
You know
Even
what?
for the
I
take away,
I actually
go ahead.
I was about to say what Edens was saying. I agree to a certain standpoint, but and I actually mentioned this and brought this up on one of our previous shows. I said what's going on right now is actually an exchange of power, right? The only thing that change are the leaders. It's the leaders that make the change. It's not the people. The people don't need to change. It's the leaders that need to change. The people that are actually understand the concept of what with great responsibility comes great power and doing what is right for the sake of for the people. You know what I mean? That's actually what changes. It's the maturity within the leaders that are swapping places with these different leaders coming in and out, right? That is what changes, and that actually is the catalyst to the evolution of the people. So that's why I said I agree with what Eden's saying. Yeah, they do have the nature and tendency to gravitate to where the power is, right? But the power is what has to change. So the different people that get into leadership, first of all, the people that get into leadership actually need to be people that actually come from this community, which they are actually leading. And this is actually a concept that me and AI Love actually talked about. You know what I mean? Um, Leading by example, right? So you lead by example, and then in turn you form this community which you rise from. You rise from this community, and you share the same morals, and you share the same outlooks, and you went through similar struggles. So therefore, when it comes for you to take on a leadership role, you're able to actually empathize and actually share some of those same sentiments of the community that you came from. That way, when you lead, you actually lead towards an evolution standpoint. You're not leading from the perspective of, oh, I got all this power. Oh, I'm gonna try to keep them away from the power. You see what I'm saying? That's leading from fear. We lead out of love. We lead from love. Love doesn't know any bounds. Love doesn't know lack. All we know is abundance, right? So if you lead from the mindset of abundance, everyone can eat. Everyone can have as much as they can have. You know what I mean? So when you look at it from that perspective and mindset, that is how we evolve, and that's how we get better.
I believe that Um, the only reason people will want certain people out of power would be to put them in the power. So is the power structure, no matter what way you twist it, is going to always be that. And I don't really think that many people think about it because we just say, oh, it should be that easy. You just have to do this. And we're thinking like from the bottom, like as a perspective, which is kind of wrong because when you're in power, you have a lot of responsibility. Like, and things you can't even just move the exact same way as how people say it. Like you're responsible for if you're like the queen, if you're like the president or the head of anything, like you're responsible for a group of people. And every move that you make is going to affect millions, thousands, or however many people that are following behind you. So it's a little bit different. You can't just say, hey, they shouldn't have done this, which I mean, in certain situations, bad decisions are made, fucked up things are done. But at the same time, you're not looking at it through their eyes. Like they have empires to take care of. And in some cases, extreme reactions, extreme decisions, and all of that. It just goes and stop eating out of her food. But but yeah, it goes. You know what I'm trying to say. It just big decisions come with big power, and that's something that's not going to change.
Yeah. Sacrifices are made.
Can we really speak on it really quick? And I like this that we're discussing power, but we're talking about the elementary standpoint of that, of what it is. But can we talk about its movements? If we're really paying attention, it is not something that's just remaining in place. It's a pendulum. It will sway from one side to the other, to the other, to the other. And as long as we don't like learn from our mistakes, it's another thing that we say in the monsters, like I stared the abyss and I became it. When do you not become exactly what it is that you were fighting in the first place? And that's what a lot of people miss. So let's even talk about it now. Men have been in power for so long, and now we're having conversations to where they're mad about the new wave feminism. But how can you complain with all the structure that we've been complacent with for so long? So now the power has shifted in the pendulum to the other side. Now we're getting all this counterculture stuff of people that are mad that, you know, the power is a pendulum. So now it goes to that one. But what happens in the future if even holding up a binary is impeding on the progress of another layer of society that's come up under you? The pendulum moves again. So it's easy to say that things will never change. I don't want to agree with that. I think that as generations go, because, you know, as forward thinking as we are and as beautiful of a society we've structured today, we're still so juvenile.
Yeah. You know what, Seven? It's funny that you said that because I actually pinned something up to the very, very top of this page here. And this is just based off of scientific documentation and beliefs on the three different levels of civilization, right? And so the first one is can access energy of its planet, right? Like I don't even know if we're entirely there, but we do have wind, we do have solar, like we do have geothermal, which means that we can extract the energy of our planet, right? We use oil, which comes from the surface, and then they have another type, the archeotype, and that is it can consume energy of a star. So we're not even at that stage yet. Like we're still in type one, right? So like when we talk about the shift of energy and power, the reason why I brought that up is because like there's going to be some sort of period. There has to be based off of the scientific hypothesis. There has to be another level that we're going to transition to, and what's the face of that transitioning actually look like? Like, are we entering into the realm of that transition? Is this the beginning stages? Is the free flow of information the start of the relinquishment of that power that has been confined for so many ages. Awesome. I see you with your hand up.
Yo, bro, so fire. That is exactly my sentiment. What you just said. You were saying, is this flow of information the beginning? Yes, it is the beginning because what the flow of information is enabling people to do is to use their own brains and think for themselves, right? So for instance, like we're talking about with the queen, right? So the people have a certain access to a certain amount of information to where when the queen passes, people say, okay, well, who was the queen? Instead of see what happened in the past when we didn't have access to the information was we have to go along with the charade, right? And be like, oh, RIP to the queen, right? Because that's what you're supposed to do if somebody dies, right? Well, now with this new flow of information, people, the first thing they think is, hey, who is the queen? Rather than, oh, well, let me just say what's respectful to the dead. They go research the queen, they go look up her track record, then they come up, then they decide for themselves consciously what they want to do. This is a new level.
Man, amen to that. I hear you. I hear you. Well, look, man, sheesh. I guess we're just gonna have to see. History, time tells all tales the man tells. One of my favorite sayings. I like to say, right? Like everything that you can speak a lot, but when it's all said and done, the history books are going to record the actions and efforts of each individual that's contributing. And later on, it will be determination on whether this was good or whether this was bad, right? A lot of the things, even when it comes to technologies, you can even trace like you think are safe, and you find out they used to have like lead in paint. You know what I'm saying? At one point in time, and it was considered all right, like it's okay, right? But history later unveils, like, no, that shit's toxic as hell, and you can die from it. So I think that when it comes to individuals, it's going to be, throughout history, you'll have one perceived notion, and then as we have access to more information, we'll be able to, make our own interpretation, our own views. But I just want to say, me myself personally, as an individual, I'm a person of forgiveness. You know what I'm saying? So, and I understand people do fucked up shit in life. It's just a part of life. But I just choose to move. Like when people pass away, I say, hey man, RIP, you know what I'm saying? No matter whether it was good or bad, you know what I'm saying? You get that respect from me because the soul is transitioning on to the next cycle. But speaking of next cycles, I want to talk really quickly here about the next subject that we had, and that's just, our quick little finance, talk about some things that are going on in the marketplace. One primarily that caught my eye early on was the fact that tech finance companies are saying that they're getting ready to lay people off, and that whole transition and what that's going to look like coming up here shortly, because the tech industry has been on a boom. I believe that
Yo, yo, yo.
He may have got a phone call.
Probably.
I think it's a trickle down effect, man. Like the economy. These are things that should be thriving around here, but it's as a callback to before and why things have to maybe change. At least the leadership is America's kind of failing as an experiment long term. It's not hard to see.
Um, I actually, um, I actually been kind of looking at the job market for a little bit. There's a lot of different changes that are going on concerning the job market, period, especially in the tech field. For one thing, uh, the barrier of entry is definitely lower now. You no longer have to have a college degree or anything like that to be accepted for different roles and stuff like that, right? Especially with Web 3.0. If you guys go on LinkedIn, right? If you go on LinkedIn, they're looking for CEOs of Web 3.0 NFT marketplaces. Like, I'm talking about, it's like a complete overhaul. Like, they're pretty much they're pretty much letting you go if you don't know anything about Web 3.0 right now. Like that's literally what's going on. It's like literally like a shift. Like they're swapping people out, and
Yeah,
they trying to bring in people that know more about Web 3.0 because everything is migrating over to that platform. But what you was about to say, Mixie?
that exactly. Like the tech jobs aren't dying. It's just that a lot of the tech jobs that we used to have, and they were just kind of overhired for that. But we're moving forward in like the technology, and they're looking to be innovative. So as long as you stay ahead of the job market, you understand what's going on. We all know that blockchain is the next level of technology. Most companies don't know about that. And also, the reason why it doesn't require any college degrees is because college courses haven't even been created yet for learning blockchain. So it's like I've learned that from talking to like a lot of different Web 2 people. Like I've been paying attention to those Web 2 spaces and stuff. And just the amount of stuff that they don't understand about.
To the tech sector and them cutting back on jobs and
Talking, did
people.
you not hear anything we were saying, or were you rugging that bad?
No, I rugged out. It
Uh,
was a wipeout, man.
well, we were pretty much talking about the fact that the tech industry hasn't died. It's just their priorities for what they're looking for, and like new employees, it's changing.
Yeah, the market, the tech sector is looking for people who are knowledgeable in Web 3.0. And I'm always on LinkedIn, man. I'm always on LinkedIn. I do this full time, but I like to survey the market and just see what I could get. Man, like as far as my experience, I can literally be the CEO or COO of any of these, upcoming Web 3.0 companies. You gotta look at you if you jump on LinkedIn and look at Microsoft and what they're looking for. They're looking for Web 3.0 people. They're not looking for Web 2.0 people anymore. And every company is trying to migrate to Web 3.0. So it's a huge shift a huge shift going on. Like even if you go on YouTube, like I went on YouTube, one thing that's trending on YouTube is how to get a Web 3.0 job. Like this is the general consensus of the tech field right now. So with the whole migration, what happens is if you don't connect within the merger of the Web 3.0, or if you don't pick any skills up concerning Web 3.0 during the migration, they just gonna let you go because they whole tech company gonna be behind.
Yeah, as far as like so Web 2, a lot of important coding languages would be like C++, JavaScript, HTML, and all of that. Now it's like if you're a Solidity developer, if you know how to work on Haskell, if you know how to work on Rust, they're going to want you because that's the coding language that the main blockchains go off. So Solidity, Ethereum, and any EVM compatible chain, Haskell, Cardano, Rust, Solana, Polkadot, and I believe near protocol. So yeah, like these new ones, this is this is what matters. Like if what was it? I think I heard earlier that I believe in Australia they released like Steve Irwin, like the crocodile hunter's son, released NFTs on Algorand. So you have to learn how to. He had to find a Go developer, and like that's just kind of how it is. It's a new standard of code developers that these people need.
Yeah, well, I mean, inside of it seems like when I read the article, it seems like they were, more or less directing or restructuring just due to like not needing the workload, like AI automation, and I think that AI is like the biggest AI in between AI and automation. Like those are the two hugest threats to everyone's value within a company or organization, right? Like I was reading an article the other day, and it was talking about the newest, richest young billionaire. He's like 25 years old, and he started off in Silicon Valley, and really took an interest and a liking into AI technologies, and he has formulated the biggest AI company now, and he services everyone from Amazon to the United States Department of Defense. And so I think that like that's probably like one of the most impending signs on things to come, and just like the way that actually looks. I don't even think that it's going to be based off of your skill set, because you can be as smart, as intelligent as humanly possible, but when you have computers that are able to, do twice the work or 10 times the level of production, at the end of the day, business boils down to basic principles, and that's, low overhead, high profit.
Well, AI needs to be developed and maintained by someone.
Yeah,
So that's the job.
oh, word. Yeah, I was gonna say AI. This actually ties in with what you were saying about type 1 to type 3 civilizations, right? Um, so a type 2 civilization, nobody works. So in a type 2 civilization, what happens is everything is the workers are actually AI, right? So the workers become AI, and the people actually are able to do what they love to do and manage the AI too as well. So the people are actually ultimately going to be freed by way of working 9 to 5s, and the AI actually replaces the people, and so then the people get to focus on whatever it is they want to focus on. That's actually the type 2 civilization. So that actually falls in line with what you were saying, AI.
What's going on, brother? I see you, Crib King. Go ahead and you know how the flow
Yeah,
goes
yeah,
here.
yeah. I don't know. I ain't just hot, man. What's good, y'all? Um, yeah, I want to look more into that. Like, so this is like a whole studying JL in terms of this tier one and tier two thing and all that.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
would say one of the best things to look at is the Fermi Paradox. It's a um it's a two-part cartoon little YouTube series, and it's created by, I believe their name is like Kurgixat. Like it's spelled very weird, like KURGZ something like that. It's like a German word, but
Can you drop a link in like the message?
Yeah, so I pinned the tweet about the civilizations, or the types, different types, scales of civil. It's a very, very interesting study. I would recommend all to kind of like look into, and because I think that the best way to prepare for the future is to envision it, right? So um, when it comes to handling day to day issues and problems, I always look to think of how things will be in the future, and then sort of backtrace it to the current state of affairs and problems, right? Like I don't think that anyone in here is a U.S. citizen. Sorry, Eaton.
but that's a U.S. citizen will dispute or debate the levels of corruption that we face here in our own political arena, right? Like, I know there's this one guy, he follows and does all the trades that our politicians do, and I mean has some crazy freaking returns on them as well, and it's public information, but you can kind of like with the free, and this goes back to the free flow of information. With the free flow of information, we now have access to where we can trace the money to, unforeseen accounts. Like we've never been able to experience this. And I think with that, it kind of marries and meshes into like how we are going to advance and what the shift of power actually does look like. Eden's absolutely correct. And I think that there will be certain metrics and put in place to kind of hold that power as long as humanly possible, right? And to the fact that where it may come to a point where they say, you know what, we don't really need humans anymore, and and that's something that can be a real reality that people just kind of like don't think are really paying attention to. And so when and then to your fact there, Mixie, you were talking about the needing someone to maintain the AI computer language. Well, the whole purpose of AI is to push itself to a period to where it can maintain its own. So then, what does that kind of look like on the structured scale? And that's the kind of things that I like to think about. But we were just talking about the queen and transitioning from there into what power looks like and the possibility of shifting of power. I hope that I have high hopes that and inspirations that we are going to get to a stage to where we will have a common consensus on what is absolutely good for the betterment of the entire whole and not just a select group of individuals. I think that's a huge push behind the recent adaptation and interest into cryptocurrencies for sure. I believe we are at least like a decade or something away from a time that AI is completely self sustainable. Just based off of how much I see um, already, because AI is like a baby. Like, you have to teach it, like, it has to learn. It's not like you turn it on and then it just knows everything it knows. You have to actually develop it. And I've seen like a lot of people, they've been developing things like, I believe it's called like Project Blue or something like that, like the Intel project that they have going on too. Like, they've been developing it for like a while, but the thing is, it's going to take longer than we already have seen to like get it to where it's really a threat to the human workforce.
Like, I definitely, hey man, I like this post that you put up about the civilizations, man, because this stuff is I'm telling you, all of this ties into it because go back to resources, right? So if we type one and we talking about accessing the energy of the planet, right? Let's say, okay, right, because right now we still working off gas and oil. We're still working off gas and oil, right? Well, that's the reason why the wars are going on, right? All of the wars is over the resources, right? Why is all the war over the resources? Because the resources are kind of scarce, right? Why are they scarce? Because they're harvesting it directly from the planet, right? So let's say we shift to another power, and that power is not harvesting the energy from the planet, is consuming the energy of a star. So if you're consuming the energy of a star, what happens is it takes the stress off of the planet. And so therefore the energy is more abundant too as well. So if the energy is more abundant, then what happens is you have more than enough to go around. Once you have that, then people can actually come together and start thinking of different things and actually working together, right? Long as it's not based off a scarce resource, and that's going to change the whole economy. That's going to change the economy of how people live, people in general.
So you think like it's primarily over resources? I mean, I definitely agree that that's like a key component in terms of like, different countries or different regions and stuff like that. But, I think his way of life is like a major one too. Like, just like how, I guess governing bodies, the direction they want things to go. And, we could say like I know it's like this whole it's for quite some time been this whole talk for like the one world thing and everything. But so that's why I say, like, I think it's a fight for that too, like of like I don't want to use the term sovereignty, but at the same time, like it's probably like the best thing I can think of in terms of like different countries or regions wanting just to exist in the way they want to exist and not fall under that. So I think that's like a part of like war and all that too.
It's called the Great Filter. And when you watch that Fermi Paradox thing, you're gonna see what I'm talking about. It's like the more so right now we're fighting wars over resources, and we're also, if you see, we're trying to explore into space so we can start extracting resources from the solar system, and then we're gonna try to like harness like energy from the sun and all of that. And as technology gets better and better, it's pretty much saying where are all the aliens, because either there is a filter ahead of us that all of the rest of the forms of life in the universe weren't able to pass, and we also are going to like fall victim to that filter, or we are the first civilization to make it past that filter. So yeah, it's a
An-
very interesting thing to watch.
Another show to watch. You can watch The Man That Fell to Earth. Watch The Man That Fell to Earth. It's all about that
Woo,
too as
that's
well.
fire. Hey, that's one of my shout out to that, man. I'm glad. That's really good for the media section. In fact, we'll go ahead and we'll jump into that. Yes, the man who
Drop
fell
that
to
in the
earth. Brother, let me tell you, that show right there, man, is so crazy. And it's so mind boggling, dude. And it really gets your the
What's
brain.
that on?
Oh man, let me look it up for you real quick.
You
I
said the
want to say,
man that failed the earth. That's what y'all said, or built.
The man that fell, FELL, to
Oh,
earth.
Yo,
fell to earth. Okay, okay.
put that in the DMs. I'm trying to see that. I love sci-fi.
bro, you Mix, I can't believe you haven't seen it, bro. Watch that show. It's talking about all of this. It's fire. It's super fire. And there's actually an older version to it too. This is actually a reboot, like a remake, and they made it into a show. The older version, David Bowie was actually in it. And I haven't been able to see the older version yet either. But this new version is fire, super fire. I want to say it's on Showtime. Man, let me see. FL to Earth. Is it on Showtime? Why they just don't say what it's
I'm
on,
looking
man?
to pin it too. I'm up in the latest on Twitter. Let's see if I can find it for you. But yeah, man, that right there, bro, that show right there is so fire. Let me tell you. Oh, here it is, right here. It is on Showtime. It's on Showtime. I'll pin it up to the top. Someone tweeted it, but you can check that show out right there for sure. And yeah, man, it is. It's a race on the resources, and every country right now is trying to figure out how and which ways to capitalize on it. Speaking of which, I mean, we have lithium mines that they discovered here in the states, and we may have to start putting those to work. And what's crazy is that I don't know if a lot of people are aware of this, but when it comes to certain resources that are used for our technology, the mining of those are so toxic for the planet that the reason why we haven't really done it here in the United States is because of regulations, right? But in other countries, they aren't bound by those constrictions. So they have the ability to mine these resources and gain a competitive advantage. So it's definitely something that is going to have, I feel like, will come into play here very, very, very shortly, especially with everything that's going on across the globe, right? Like it's going to be an important factor in a lot of decisions that we're going to have to kind of draw the line in the sand on to say, hey, are we going to do this or are we going to do that? Because if we don't do this, then this is going to wind up being, the outcome, the disadvantage. But if we do this, then this may be the advantages. But herein lies also a few, you know, ecological disadvantages. So it's a tough one to call. But speaking of which, man, I also wanted to jump in real quick while we're on it. I don't know if y'all have seen um, Apple has released its latest iPhone 14. What are y'all thinking about the 14? Y'all planning on copying it or what?
That 14 Pro is clean.
Is it
Bro,
the
Um,
same? Is it the
I just
same as?
got I just got the 13, so I ain't in no rush to be. They always want to drop a new number. It's like the camera probably nicer, sure. Battery might last longer, sure. But I'm gonna just rock out with this for now.
Can I ask why? Like, what makes y'all really fuck with Apple like that? Is there something in the product that you really enjoy? Because I find it very limiting as an Android user personally. Like, I like my Galaxy. I'm good. I could download music legally somewhere, but of course, since it's recorded straight. But yeah, so what's the allure?
It's easy to use. You can pick it up.
yes,
Don't need any
it's simple.
instructions.
Yeah, I also would say it's probably like the user interface. It's I don't know, it's just a flow to it in terms of like, operating the phone that just is appealing. Like I've used Android and I'm not trying to take away from Android phones because like you were just saying, like you can do a lot on Android that's like kind of like restricted on iPhone, but it's like some of those things that you can do on there, I guess I don't really care to do on a phone. I'm cool with like doing some of those things on like say my laptop or actual computer. And you know, all the tools that I do have access to on the phone, like, as far as operations, like I said, it's cool to me on the iPhone.
I have both actually, and I like both for different reasons. I broke my Pixel, so now I have like a real basic Android. But when I had my Pixel, I actually did see myself using the Pixel more than my iPhone. But that's also because that's like stock Android. It's not like how Samsung and a lot of other people do it. I think that they like Android people. They pride the fact that you can do so much stuff with your phone. But at the end of the day, what is the likelihood that they're actually going to do like the shit that Android allows them to do? Like you're most likely going to get one background, do one setup like of your home screen, and is going to stay like that for the next 2 years. So you have all of this customization, and for what?
Not even that, bro. Not even that. I if I like a new song and I'm not trying to, um, damn, how do I word this? So yeah, if I like this new song that came out, I could just go on YouTube and, you know, like I can take that song from YouTube and then I can put it on my phone to listen to legally, of course, and it's great.
You've been hanging around our dev too much. I'll tell you that much. Here, Siv. I don't know what Lev's been. I'm gonna have to have a talk with that gentleman. No, but I definitely do feel you. I mean, life is always about hacks. Don't act like we're not one of them ones. I was a LimeWire user. Otherwise, it was a shout out to being a mixtape guy in high school and in middle school. For sure, for sure. Middle school, I brought a lot of South music back up to the city of Detroit when I moved back when I was in middle school, thanks to LimeWire and Nat Piff and all these other music sites that were allowing people to do certain things to them. Um, but yeah, man, I think that when it comes to an iPhone. Um, with any advancement, if it's only tipping the metric just a tad, I'm gonna hold off. Especially during these points in time, like unless it has some intrinsic use case for me. Like if I was like, because you can do some pretty amazing videos with the iPhone Pro Max 13. So I know the 14 is even going to be even more bonkers. So for those that are like capturing content and doing things of that nature, for sure, I think that it's well worth the investment. But like for your just everyday end user, I don't think it's no big hoopla. I think iPhones are more catered towards people in the professional realm than just because of its alleged security features, which I don't, anybody that's in tech might be able to talk on it, but like, those, it's not as secure as everyone is led to believe to that degree, but it does make it a little bit more difficult. And is not as just easily accessible as like Androids. Androids are really, really easy to crack. Um, so that's just my take on it. But shoot, man, I just can't believe. Did y'all see the prices? That's what I'm talking about. They want almost a rack. That's most people rent here in the United States. Probably won't
That's how
even
much
cover
it
all
was
of
for
it.
the last ones too. They've always been that kind of
Yeah,
expensive. It's crazy. I mean,
that's what I'm
I've
saying.
had an iPhone since generation 1. You know what I'm saying? Like the OG iPhone, and I've had an iPhone ever since. I can't leave the ecosystem. I like it too much, but I ain't dropping that kind of money for the 14. I would never go with the Pro because I don't use those professional settings for the camera. Like if I was a photographer, videographer, or something, it would make sense. But outside of that, dude, the normal ass iPhone is anything that most people would need.
RIP the 13 mini. They chose to take away the small phones. Like me and my small hands can't. Like we struggling out here.
Dude, I got a buddy, and his lady is like 4'11". She's itty bitty, dude. She always wants the biggest phone. It looks like she's walking around with an iPad up to her head. It's hilarious.
But that's just wild. It's like if it wasn't for that thing where you could pull the screen down, like, cause I have an iPhone 11. Like sometimes I really need to pull the screen down for me to be able to reach the top. Like my hand does not reach across the entire face of the phone.
Yeah, I can't get with the big ass phones. I don't see. I need to be able to easily get my phone in and out my pocket and maneuver. I got like was just said. I got an iPad for that. Like more screen. Like I don't get it. But hey, to each his own.
Man, I just can't wait. They need to hurry up with these damn glasses and goggles or whatever they're gonna have. Cause I'm tired of freaking always losing my phone, dropping my phone. Like I hate that. Me myself personally, I would be like one of them geeks if they had the like wristbands. I would definitely have my phone on there because it would just be more convenient for me because I'm always on the go. So hurry up with
Yeah.
that, Apple. I thought they actually were supposed to um, release the glasses this year. Talk about the development of it.
I think they're pushing it to 2023.
Yeah, I believe Google is going to introduce theirs in 2023.
What happened to the Google Glass? I thought they already had prototypes. I remember walking around and seeing a couple people in New York and being like, ooh.
Yeah, so the Google Glass got canceled for the public, but they continued selling like a developer's version. So they're coming out with something new. It's not going to be exactly Google Glass anymore, but they're taking what they learned from that and applying it to the new one.
Hey, I got slide, fellas. I got no spaces, so I'm gonna check back in after that if y'all still in here. Peace.
Bet, bet.
Yeah, we got about 40 more in the running here. You know, before we wrap it up, because I man, today is just space day, so I'm definitely lost in space today all day. Like it's gonna be busy for me. So have a little cool off period. In fact, I just had a talk with my lady last night. I'm like, damn, I gotta slow down on the spaces because I
You,
do.
she gave
I
you
do.
that talk, bro. She gave, hey, bro. I had that talk last week, bro.
See, this is why I am pursuing making money, and women are going to come later.
I know.
Nah.
I mean, you gotta, you know what I'm saying? You can't ignore the universe. Like I said, universe speaks. You gotta listen sometimes. You know. But
Universe,
hey, it's different. It's different strokes for different folks mixing. You know what I'm saying?
yo,
Me
I can
myself.
myself
Me
out of
myself.
serious relationships though.
Yeah. I
Serious
mean,
relationships. That's not saying no
Yeah.
you're
relationship.
still young though, mixing. So go ahead and do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Pass the
Yeah.
football, run in the end zone, do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? However you feel like, just put some points on the goddamn board. That's all we care about.
Oh, you could put up points on the board, but like, look, bro, we dealing with bench players right now. We ain't got down. Like, I'm not ready for a starting five. Like, that requires too much attention.
Oh yeah, guys. Yeah. Like what's the name was saying, I actually got a pill out too. I actually want to go over some CNFT content real quick. Let me jump into that real quick. AI talk about some of these projects that I got my eye on right now. Let me tell y'all which ones I got my eye on. Well, Open CNFT, the top 5 right now. We got the Chill Cones. Number 2, we got Ada Handle. Number 3, we got Ape Society. Number 4, we got Boss Cat Rocket Club. And number 5, we got Pavia. So let me talk about some projects I actually got my eye on right now. Let me go to my. So I like to keep them in my Discord real quick. One of the first projects that I actually got my eye on is actually dang, I don't want to butcher their name. Hold on, I'm gonna pull it up. Cause I definitely butchered this project name. Give me a second. Boom, boom. All right, yeah. So the Avocado Breakfast Club. So the Avocado Breakfast Club actually got a mint coming up on September 13th, but you do have to be whitelisted in order to, mint as a whitelist. But they're gonna have a public the day after. Now, the Avocado Breakfast Club is actually the reason why this project is on everybody's radar is because they actually coming out with analytic tools, right? And they actually already have their website set up, the website and everything set up for their analytic tool already. You can actually go check that out. You have to jump in their Discord, and check it out. But this is pretty much gearing up to be huge right now. Because of all the different resources and stuff they have within their analytic tool, right? It's very deep analytics. You'll have to check it out for yourself. And once again, NFA, want to say not financial advice. I always want to say not financial advice. But Avocado Breakfast Club is definitely on my radar. Just for transparency, I'm already whitelisted for this project. So major shout out to them. And they actually already have a project that's out already. They actually released a profile picture collection that was just called Avocado Breakfast Club, and the floor right now for those are actually 380 right now.
Can
So
you
their
pin it
first.
to the top?
Okay, cool. I pin them to the top real quick. Let me get
Dude, has anybody checked out Chatty's project, the Pineapple Pizza DJ Club? That's missing right now.
Yeah, I was actually in the space with him. I think I'm gonna grab me one. He had me fucking dying laughing. So
Yeah, it's funny as shit, bro. The
Is
art ain't
is there
bad
any?
neither. The artist was in the space this morning. They had a space, and they also disclosed who the other lead of the project is. So the lead of the project's in the Discord, he's named PP King, but apparently it's the creator of Artano. So that website.
What are they
okay.
supposed to do?
You said what now?
What is the Pineapple Pizza Club supposed to be doing?
I mean, originally it was just a joke, right? Like, everybody was talking about pineapple pizza like it was something, and they did a little drop of 500 slices of pizza, and I guess that sold out pretty quick. And then they were like, well, like, let's keep the joke going. So they made some mutants. So that's what it is right now, is they've got 5,000 pizza mutants. The website's pretty good and the art's good. We were in a space this morning with an artist. It's not bad. And they got a good team there. So Chatty, is an OG. Obviously the creator of Artano's OG, and then Adam Dean's minting it. So right now, I guess when you buy them, they're in the pizza box. They haven't been revealed yet. Reveals happen on Sunday, so it's like if you go buy one today, you'll just get the pizza box. But tomorrow, I guess at some point they're doing the reveal. I know you said something about there's pets next, like after the mutants. So they've got a little roadmap. The website's cool.
So they don't do anything, basically.
No, they don't do no utility, just art, just fun, just fucking around. I mean, it's damn 10 ADA, and every time if you buy more than one, it gets cheaper and cheaper. So it's like if you buy 50, it goes down to like 5.1 ADA a piece, which is kind of a cool way for them to sell them.
All right. Yo, shout out to everybody in the room. I actually have to dip real quick, but I did post the Avocado Breakfast Club. That's actually their whitelist application, and you can just go submit on their whitelist application, and they'll get to you. And make sure you're in the Discord too. Make sure you're in the Discord. Make sure you do your research about the project. But that's definitely a project that's on my radar. Like I said, they're minting September 13th. You guys check it out. Let me know what y'all think. DM me. Tell me what y'all think. But with that being said, I'm about to go ahead and jump into this other space with Bad Fox Motorcycle Club and SoundRig. Actually got a collaboration with these two brands. So, but shout out to everybody in the room. Shout out to the homie AI Love. Shout out to everybody in the building. And I'm signing off. And I'm going to catch y'all next Saturday at 10:30 for the Space Cadets, man.
All right, man. And as soon as we wrap it up here, man, I will definitely be jumping over and portaling over and checking you out real quick, seeing what's going on with SoundRig. We're going to keep this thing going here with the CNFT talk and the breakdown. I want to know what all projects have y'all had your eyes on that really caught your attention. I want to hear that from the community. What about you, Mixer? You seen anything? I mean, we've got Carter Auto with the Pineapple Pizza Club. We got Awesome with the Avocado Club. It seems like people are hungry right now.
Yeah,
what
boy. Yeah, we moved on from random animals to food.
So currently, to be completely honest, the CNFT is looking kind of dry. I am expecting the titties though. That's gonna be my Degen play, I guess. So nice fucking titties. But yeah, I have some other NFTs from other communities that are like starting to come up that I'm kind of bullish on. But yeah, as far as Cardano NFTs, I don't really see too many as of right now that they're not really sparking that much interest to me right now.
Cool. You say it's kind of dry out here. I don't know, man. I've been seeing a
When
couple.
does Monsters mint?
Huh?
When does her Monsters mint?
Our priority is coming up here soon, which we're aiming for the end of this month. But we like to cross our T's and dot our I's. Trust me, you'll know because we're throwing a mint party. And so even if, like, say for instance, hypothetically, we did like mint at the end of the month, right? Technically, the mint won't be concluded until all the clues are solved for the Prio team. So this is a strictly limited 333 collection. I believe we have the majority of the Prio spots filled, and all sorts of other things. I don't want to dive too deep in, but I got so many spaces with HM today. But it is an amazing project. It's one that I'm a part of, and Sev up here is a part of. Sev, you wanna share some outfit with them?
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna go too deep because I see this ain't that type of space for sure. I want to shout out PB that's in the crowd. That's actually rocking at HM uh PFP that they made some artwork with some clay that they made because they're rocking with the gang. So shout out to I see you fam. And Guz is also in Prio. Tam I am. We got a couple people that's repping the gang, but
Man, I'm
yeah.
see Prio, but I don't know what y'all doing. Come on, man.
Oh, you don't know what we doing? Bro, I'll tell you firsthand, bro. I got you right now. You missed out on the thread, but I got you, family. I got you. So look, Prio is 333 members that are going to be like our OGs, our beta testers for the things in the world that we're implementing. They get to test out everything, so we can get our bugs right before we really mass onboard it to our 1K members, etc. But right now, what we're doing for this mint party, we separated all the 333 into 7 groups. And on our mint day, we're going to hold a little party to where there's going to be kind of like let's say like a puzzle relay race. So right now, all those groups that we separated into, they're getting to know each other. We're getting to know them. We're getting everyone's wallets together because it's exclusively just for y'all. And yeah, so we're gonna hold the space. It's gonna be an event. There might be some faces in there that you're gonna enjoy. But what's it called? So yeah, it's gonna go from alpha all the way to ghost, and each group is gonna have their objective to hit. Once alpha's done, boom, beta's turn. Once beta's done, boom, until we're done. And after that, you all get to mint out your experience. But we're trying to do it big for sure. So hopefully that answers a little bit of what you're seeing.
Ain't no
What's going
trying.
on.
It is gonna be big. You know how we step and mix it. That's for sure, without a doubt. Like I'm,
Talk.
I'm confident in what we got
I'm
going
just
on over here.
rocking
I know you
things.
see the PFP, man. I think this is like my third, fourth switch up of the week. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to H&M PFPs, man. So all of them have been fired off the chain. Art speaks for itself. Community is growing and developing at a crazy rate. Ideas are going to be implemented. Features are going to be added. We're going to get down to business. You know what I'm saying? That's for sure. So shout out to the gang in the building. Shout
Stop
out to
getting
anybody that's
PFPs.
huh?
I said, where are y'all getting these PFPs? I had to make
Yeah,
my own.
no. So like they, I don't know if you noticed, and I'll tell you how I got mine because I was wondering like, man, how all these community members have all these PFPs, right? So HM put up a thread, and inside the thread you can play it, and it runs through like flashes through a series of PFPs, and then you just hit pause on one, and whatever one you get, you make your PFP. So that was like a little thing that they did. So I just went ahead and participated, and when I paused it, that's the one that you see on my PFP right now. That's how I have it.
Ah, okay. So I need to find this thread. I see.
It's in the community hideout, fam. Just go to the community, and it's like one of the last ones.
Are you
You
inside?
also
Is
see
it inside
TV.
the
That's what
community?
I'm talking about. I'm not in that chat.
You're not in the
Oh,
chat? Let me
I
see.
got you, family. I got you 100%. I'm gonna send you the link.
All right, cool.
Let me,
Uh,
And also RIP to my interest that I had in Ori. Like I don't know what they have going on. I'm whitelisted. I was going to mint, but I have like they just kind of dropped off the face of the planet. Like what happened?
bro,
Yep.
that's exactly what I was gonna ask. Is there been any update as what's going on that side at all?
Yeah, there's updates. They've dropped some announcements in the Discord. Just like I told the project lead, I was like, dude, the problem is this thing's like a tide of the ocean. Is that they did all this hype pushing the tide towards the beach, towards the people, and just as soon as that mint got fucked up, the tide turned the other way, and all that water is moving back out to the ocean. I don't know what they're gonna do to try to capitalize or get that going again, but it's gonna be hard pressed. They said they're gonna try to do a relaunch at the end of the month, so we'll find out here in 14 to 20 days.
See, like that's a lot of money for them to be sleeping like this. Like I don't know about
Well,
that.
they're not sleeping. They had to they legitimately had to go back to the drawing board and try to fix all the problems with the dev side, right? They like realized just as soon as they tried to hit, go now on the minting side that they didn't have their metadata right. They didn't have all their images uploaded, so they're going back to square one. And I think they hired someone else to come in and assist their devs on getting everything right and ready, using the tools that NFT Maker or NMaker provides. And that's where a lot of people immediately get upset and kind of confused is NMaker just provides a toolbox, So like, here's all the tools to build the swing set. You go out there and you fuck up the swing set and got a bunch of extra nuts and bolts left over at the end. Well, when the first time somebody goes to swing on that bitch and it falls apart, you know why.
Man, for sure. You just gotta let them do what they're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? Like that's their ball to run with. That's the way I look at it. If from outside advice, what I would wind up doing, I would probably have to kind of like it sucks to say it, but you'd have to do something to the extent of changing maybe the mint cost. You know what I'm saying? Making it a little bit more sweeter on the entry point for those that were holding that you gave the whitelist to. You know what I'm saying? But then you would have to worry about people dumping for the rarities if that's what you're worried about. Right now, I just think that the way that they responded, as far as when the mint was delivered, it was a little off key, right? So you got to recapture what makes your project value. You just can't just push past what it is that you did or made an error of. Is like, that's not the way that you should be wanting to facilitate your business. Like you should want to be somewhat of a reputable person and principles, and say, hey, we made mistakes, we fucked up, we hurt the community. This is what we decided to do. I would love to see phase mints for a collection that big.
Me too, bro. I
I
said
think
that.
at this time that if you wanted to reverse the play, increase the number of 101s that you were putting into your collection, with the real artwork that the people love, put it in phases, reduce the mint price to a certain degree, really focused on the people that may have been felt wronged. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be able to break down the analytics to a degree to make it right. And I think
Yeah.
that if they are able to do that and convey a message, and you're gonna probably have to push it. I would push the men out to probably mid-November, to be honest with you. So
I don't think pushing it further down the road is going to do
I
anything in their
yeah,
favor.
because it.
I think that they've already took a big hit, and I told again
Well,
I
you have to.
messaged Roe.
The reason why I will, right, is this is just my take on it, right? The reason why I feel like it would be more beneficial is because you need to recenter and focus on things that made your project of value, right? And it starts off with the members that you have in representation of that community. So that needs to be reestablished, right, before you want to really push forward. Because if you push forward, I mean, yeah, financially it may assist you, but in the long run, I think that it's just going to be more detrimental to what it is that you're trying to do. It just, to me, what that would show is just a lack of determination to really, I would say, kick it here for the long haul. Because you made it up to this point, you made mistakes, you made errors. It's time for you to redo the work that you lost. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got to get back to where you once was, and it takes time. Like, it's not something that's just gonna flash in a pen and happen. But I feel like dropping the mint right away, keeping up with the same collection, same mint price, it's tacky, it's tasteless, and it just does not speak to what the community wants. So.
Yeah, I told them to take it down to 2,500 pieces was and that was my advice. Hey, I've been in that Discord since before 2022, bro. I've been in there since 2021, and I got the screenshot. I went back and pulled my name in the Discord in January when they mentioned this 10K drop. I was like, it shouldn't be no more than 2,500. Like, why 10K? Why can't you can still do 10K pieces? Like Block Owls is a perfect example. I'm a Block Owl holder, have been from day one. Love it. They're doing 10,000 pieces, but they did it spread out. Like, first drop was 2,400 and some change. The next drop was 2,500 and some change. The last drop was like 1,700. And then this next drop's going to be the remaining 10K. You know what I'm saying? And like, they're able to keep their community engaged. They're able to keep their floor price fucking managed. Like, you can't just drop 10K on it. Like, not right now. And that's just my opinion. You know, not at 252 ADA. But I don't know.
Especially not just for
Ada,
artwork. It's like I'm wondering the utility, especially with the fact that we're finding out on Mint Day specifically that so much has to be put back. It's interesting. I'm wondering what they have planned on it for long term, and if that's the case, does that make that any different than a Matador project? Or I'm trying to think of other or Jarheads or I mean, it's a
Well,
type of thing.
the quote unquote
favorite one.
utility, you know, I don't
Above.
know.
That's what I would say.
I
They,
didn't hear that. What'd you say?
What was
I,
that, Mickey?
I said Prismatics is my favorite collection that dropped over 200, like Ada.
Yeah, I mean, and just look at who's behind that too. Like, you know what I'm saying? I think that's another reason why you can attach that monetary value to that individual collection. And speaking of which, you know, that brings me to another project that I had my eyes on, a new project coming into the Cardano ecosystem, and that's the Bad Girls Club. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if have y'all checked that out.
I've seen it, and I don't know. I don't know. I need to see more from them.
You got Crypto Gonzo in the building. What's up, my dear friend? How you doing? I do have your number. I will be reaching out to you. But
I
yeah,
heard
man.
that I heard that Natalie Shaw behind the Bad Girls Club is
Yeah,
actually someone prominent in Ethereum.
yeah. I mean, you know, definitely cross chain. I did check out the resume. It was very intriguing to me. Um, as far as the work pieces, I mean, these are just sneak peeks, so I don't really take it for face value to the credit. But I do like the conception, the design, and the expression. Um, and for someone to be a notable figure in another blockchain to come over and surf over on Artwave, I think is really good for our space. So I'm all for it. I'm just interested to see, you know, like the details behind it. So is it just one-on-one collection? It's going to be very limited, you know, things that like every other project that you stumble across. So you know, once we have a better opportunity to see that, you know, get my yay or nay vote. But for right now, I'm definitely saying yay. Um,
My first reaction, I guess I would say, is it gives me the vibes of the Purdy Cats, and it's because when you go to their profile, it's just automatically in the bio. Our art is from this person, like, and that's pretty much it. It's like that, and then them tweeting, "Are you ready?" Like it's not really that impressive to me. Like that's what I'm saying. Like they have.
Have y'all seen this project, keyboard KYC or whatever it is?
yeah, that's the one Finland's a part of, right?
Oh, is Finley a part of that one? Okay,
I
because
think her keyboard warriors.
Yeah,
I thought it
keyboard
was
warrior.
Keyboard Warriors too, but like this new art is different than their old stuff.
Yeah, I mean, let's not take away the utility in art. So, you know, I don't really get how people, if all this were to go to zero, like, wouldn't you want something that like had an artistic expression or had great art behind it? Like, I don't mind any HM picture. Like, I can literally all the ones that I have, all the ones that we released, like I can literally put those either in like a game room, either around the house, by the bar, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's utility behind that. Dude, if you were in my house and you seen that on my wall and we're fucking playing, you never knew nothing about crypto, like that might start a whole conversation in crypto. Like, so I don't know. When people say art and they don't base that as a utility, I just say that's just foolishness, right? Like, look at how many things have logos and brands and mascots. Tony the Tiger, you know what I'm saying? Ever since he was a kid, so. I feel like artwork in itself is, a thing of beauty, especially when it's done in the very varied fashions that we have over here in this ecosystem.
Art is a utility, but to a certain extent, it depends. Like for one, I don't like. even really care too much for the 10K Ori art. Like their art that you see them post, that looks cool as hell, but that 10K art is not too impressive. And then for me, like the whole HM thing, the it's like the experience that drew me into it more than just the art. So even if it was an art project, the experience of going through the website and having to like do all of this shit and figure out all of these things, that's the part that interests me. So yeah, you're just gonna have to show me more than just the art, because like I mean, I have a lot of artists that I'm interested in. It's just yeah, that's how I see it.
Yeah, I'm always looking. I'm looking art kind of first, unless the NFT is just pure utility. So, as an example, Angel Baby Hit Squad, right? Like, I'm not in love with these little fat cherubs, I'd be kind of hard pressed to find anybody that's like, oh, that's my jam. I mean, it is what it is, right? You know, it's a little fat cherub holding a rocket launcher. It's cool, but the utility there, all these airdrops, you know, have been worth it to be a holder. Versus something like I'm a huge Aeonium Sky fan, dude. And that's just pure art. There's no utility there other than it's just beautiful, and I will continue to buy those pieces every time he drops one because I respect the art, like just hardcore.
Those are so detailed though. Like you can tell
Dude,
it takes a
he
long
does
time.
on his last piece on like block 15, I think it was. 270 something layers to that file. Like when you like it don't make no sense, dude. I don't know what kind of program he's building that in, but it's just nuts.
Well, let's not forget that I don't. So I would disagree to a small extent. Art isn't the utility. We're allowing art to now. We're making art the utility in the sense that okay, like we're using it as a base to show these anti-counterfeit measures that will be changing a whole industry in the near future. And if this is the medium in which we can do it and it's beautiful, then that's dope. But like, it definitely, there's, it's a little deeper than that. Like when it comes to the art, that's to that extent. But because we're dealing with such a tech-involved industry and audience specifically, I think that they're yearning for like innovation more than anything. Just my opinion, and that doesn't take away from the art, specifically because that goes to another utility, which is the community, right? Like no one wants to, rally behind something that they don't like. So it all, comes full circle, I guess.
You know, I feel what you're saying about people don't want to rally behind things that they don't like, but I'd almost want to call BS on that, dude. I've seen so many PFPs, and art is subjective, right? But I feel like definitely when the people pull up in them, it's just because you know, like a flex, like oh, I spent 1,000 on this. Like it's not like you spent 1,000 on it and you're happy with the art. It's like you spent 1,000 on it either A because of the community or B as a flex, or C, I guess, some kind of utility that I don't see. And sometimes that is just being part of the community. I mean, you know, I can't take anything away from that. You know, that's if you don't have a client customer base ragtag group of people that want to put on for your project, you're doomed to fail. You know, like there has to be people there.
You have to spark interest, and you have to know what it is about you that people like. So when I think about Ori, I think that I think that AI, you're right, they do need to push it back to November because like look at what all they had to do to get all of this talk about them going on. They did like almost a week straight of press. They did like they did a lot. They did the most for the most
Yeah,
part.
they did more than 1 week.
So that's what I'm saying. Like they need to run that back because they're a hype man. Like that's what it mainly was, the hype around it. So they need to regain that hype. And I remember when Eden actually paused his mint before he restarted his mint, he did a whole press run. He came out with videos, like all types of shit to get people talking about Eden 7 again. He didn't just give a date and say, okay, we're minting again. So I think that they need, like, the end of this month it's already the middle of this month.
Well,
Almost.
I think they felt like they were probably 90% ready to go, like to pull the trigger to run the mint, and then everything that happened. So I don't think there's a ton of dev work that they still have to do on their end, but I do think they're spending quite a bit of time trying to figure out how to do just that, Nixie. Like, how do you go back into the spaces that you've already visited all of and tell these people the same thing that you've already told them? You can't come back and I mean, I guess you can, but imagine it, right? We're sitting in the room. Hey, I'm Ori. I got a 10K drop coming up, 252 ADA. Deal with it. I don't know that they're going to be able to come in and do that. They're going to have to do. There's got to be some kind of marketing play there. So as AI mentioned, right? So they're going to either A, need to look at their price, or possibly B, review the way that they're doing their whitelist, or reduce the count. And I've already talked to the project lead, and he said that they're not going to, because they have so many other things planned. And I'm like, I don't know, bro. I don't want to take anything away from Ore the artist, but obviously someone there on the like dev side or team side didn't manage the situation correctly, and I don't know how they're going to fix it. You can't put that much pressure on just an artist.
Yeah, my whole take on that would be this: like, if you're intent on selling 10K, then do a light series, run it, boom, see how it goes, boom, run it right back, boom, all right, run it back, boom.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but I think, like, either which way, if you just continue to progress, to proceed with the mint, what kind of effects is it going to have? Is you kind of already know what that picture is going to paint for you. In my eyes, like, if you're dropping a 10K mint, at what speed and degree do you think you're going to gain more traction, on a 10K or on a 3K?
Well,
So
here's my marketing play, because they already told everyone basically that the casing was going to be a benefit of being a holder, right? So that you're going to have an opportunity to take your PFP and put it in a case. Now, it's going to not be as nice as the cases for the OG drops, but all the same, you're going to get that animated 3D vibe, kind of a smaller version of the OGs. So my whole thing was like, drop 2,500, let that sell, pick 500 of that 2,500 at random to do the encasement, drop those into their wallets, then go in and sell the next 2,500, right? So like at that point, you're going to be able to create so much hype by selling only 2,500 and then providing 500 of those people, with those encasements, and then you run your next 2,500, and then you pick 1,000, 500 from the last drop, 500 from the new drop. Then you do another 2,500. I mean, there's such an easy way for them to take and run that marketing play and really get people back in. But I don't know. Maybe they're going to do something I haven't seen, and I hope so. I hope I'm fucking wrong, because I really do like Ori's art. Me personally, I don't know if I love it 252, but I love it.
Yep. I mean, we'll see. I'll tell you another project, though, that has caught my attention, and that is Blacklist. I don't know if y'all seen that, but I like that. You speak of art. I'll pin it up to the top real quick for y'all.
Man, they did me dirty. They
Who?
they post their Discord randomly, and I saw them post it, and I clicked on it literally 1 minute after they posted it, and the link was already invalid. I'm like, come on now. They did me dirty. I'm trying to get in there.
In the Discord? Oh, for Blacklist?
Yeah.
I'm sitting here looking at CNFT calendar all the way through the end of the month to November 1st, and I don't see anything here that gets me feeling warm and fuzzy. Unfortunately, I do like the continuation of that Phoenix Arena project. It is what it is, but they have a lot of big names like behind them. They got a partnership with Cardania. I think Adam Dean's on the team, etc. But shout out to them. This is going to be their third drop.
Yeah, man. Sheesh. I don't know. I think Animalians. I like that. That PFP. Like, since, and that's the thing, when there's not like a lot of traction, is another thing I look for is just like projects that I like. You really like can see me putting on like a shirt or some merch or using it later on down the line, and that's one project that I really like. Animalians. And then I think that they're doing something like learn to earn. So it's a new concept, I guess, on our ecosystem that they're employing. And so we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, they're running it through JPG, so I'm excited to partake in the JPG Mint. I missed out on the last one that they hosted, but I'll definitely be taking part in this one.
Y'all see that Cardano Thor's got his little membership token drop coming soon. That's something if you're into Cardano Thor. He's a nice guy. I don't watch any YouTubers, but from the couple of times I've checked it out, he seems like he he's putting on for the Cardano space, so that's always good.
Yeah, man, for sure, for sure. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and those in between, it's your boy AI Love, my guy Mixy Mixy. We got Carter Auto on stage, hashtag Young Ada, and we got Sev here in the building to give the wrap up. We are going to wrap this up here. I want to thank everyone for rejoining who got disconnected from our first additional space. Of course, I'm Mr. Ruggles, so it's not uncommon to see me pull Houdinis and just disappear out of spaces and then reappear like a light flash. But I do want to thank everyone for coming through today, dropping in their inputs and takes. Special shout out to Eaton. Um, Awesome is JL, my brother. We carried the spirit. Turbo made it, who wasn't able to make it. Carried the spirit for you, and a few others. We'll be hosting this space every Saturday at 10:30, typically running to 12:30. But of course, first half just being common news, weekly wrap up things that we see. We didn't even get to viral moments, but it's a little staticky today. It's all right. But next week we will be with a organized set, ready to rock and roll, and we're going to try to get a few guests. I'll be guest hunting and shopping this week to bring some needed value to our spaces over here in crypto. So be looking forward to that. Before we shut it down here, Sev, Carter, Mix, y'all got anything y'all want to say?
I'm just excited for CNFT Con, bro, and I hope people are able to get out there. If not, check all the weird, Twitter posts and pictures and videos. I'm sure they're going to be posted. It's going to be a blast, man. I'm excited for that. It's sneaking up. Today's the 10th. You know what I'm saying? So less than a month away. Check out the project. I've got an update coming to that CNFT Con NFT. So the Young Ada Series 1. I'm working with this 3D AR dude, man, but this file just keeps coming back and it's messed up. Like it looks good, but when you pull it up in AR mode, it doesn't do what I need it to do. So I'm trying to get that updated. But other than that, man, just staying busy. I've got the merch all made. It's out in Vegas. I hope to see y'all there. I hope you pick up a shirt. Shout out to y'all. Have a great weekend.
Sadly, I won't be able to make it, but I will have to speak to you, young Ada, because I think I bought an NFT that's supposed to get me a shirt, but I won't be there to pick it up. But yeah, the last thing I would just have to say is DYOR. Do your own research.
And those are the facts of life. And we are the Space Cadets. And in 5, 4, 3, 2,